Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Taking a look at SUI once more here. I'd like to summarize and say it's not looking good, but almost every time SUI doesn't look good, it looks really good shortly after. So I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're retesting this lower support range at about 360, 362. And the more often you retest a support, the more likely it is to break. That's just kind of the simple way to understand it. Once again, SUI is a bit of an anomaly when it comes to price action and reversals, but for the most part, we're seeing this, the likelihood of further downside because of that one thing. Now, do we take a trade based on one factor, one element? No, we do not. So just keep in mind, take that with a grain of salt. That's essentially something that I'm just noticing to start the conversation here. We want to look at back in data, kind of see where we're at here, if there's any incentive for the price to come lower based on liquidation or higher, whatever the case is. I do want to say thank you for being an awesome part of my life before we get started. I deeply appreciate you hitting that like button and commenting below. You know who you are. Awesome stuff. Thank you again. If you don't see 100 likes down below, just hit the like button, get us closer there, okay? Appreciate that. All right, so let's take a look here. Liquidation, left-hand side, last 7 days. We can see the concentration to the downside, 340 to 360, starting to accumulate. We're closer to that level, so it's safer to presume that level will be hit first, okay? That's generally how liquidation works. It's just kind of showing us where we got high, low, medium leverage trades at and where they feel confident. Right now, people are feeling pretty safe shorting under $4 shorting $4 or higher, essentially, or the price being below that level. That's somewhat of a resistance level, and again, mainly because of just being a large round number. Okay, you got to keep in mind, like Bitcoin, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000. Those have all proven to be pretty solid support and resistance levels at one point or another because it's just a key level. So $4, it's one of those areas. Just know that. Anyways. Tons of liquidation here. Haven't counted it up. I'll count it up later. Put it on our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. We'll go ahead and update that just so you know. But obviously, a lot of liquidation on the downside. But the closer range here, it's not a ton, but it's still enough to notice. We got a chunk between 340 and 360. So just know we may see an aggressive candlewick down to 340 if Bitcoin pulls back. I'm starting to think that Bitcoin will pull back just based on how it's behaving and just the overall sentiment of how poorly altcoins are paired with it. If you look at Bitcoin dominance, it just keeps going up. Keep in mind, this is the result, not the cause, or this is the effect, not the cause. But the general consensus here is that as Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins are essentially bleeding out. It kind of gives us an indication that money's flowing away from altcoins, flowing into Bitcoin, and we're going to have that kind of continue until it doesn't, right? The important thing is try to identify that shift in momentum. So paying attention to Bitcoin dominance can be very helpful. It gives us a quick understanding or representation of altcoins, bouncing back. Right now, they're just flopping, so to speak. Okay, even high volume and or large market cap coins like SUI, they are absolutely pulling back I would say like they should. Personally, I feel like most of them are overextended and they need to pull back. But just market makers taking profit finally. The floodgates are open and the price is pulling back. So let's quickly look at the daily time frame and see what's going on. We'll recognize this here too, though, with daily time frames. They're going to be very false positive, like, if you will, or just kind of giving us indications that we're still very bullish, minus stochastic and MACD tapering off. For the most part, we can see that we're still in good shape in the overall trend, right? But keep in mind, the trend can still be very high and very good, even if the price pulls back significantly, which we're seeing right now here. It looks like the bottom's starting to drop out. So 4-hour time frame, we are above 50-day SMA, which is good. It's consolation, but as I mentioned previously, the more time we spend below the 20-day SMA, the more likely we are to see the price continue lower. So now that that's happened, we can't just be blindly bullish on SUI and buy every single dip because it's a dip. The dips we want to buy and focus on would be ones I can maybe highlight for you here, actually right now. If we take a look at previous daily candlestick closures, this is 4-hour closures, which are pretty impactful in my personal opinion. 342 would be that area. And what do you know? 340 is that lower area of liquidation, okay? So my speculation is if the price continues to pull back, 340 would be a solid consideration for a long, or more importantly, a take profit target for a short. Okay. Secondary to that, we saw a ton of resistance here, turn support at about 328. That's a secondary level. So again, we are in a support range here, we're trending towards one, right? So this little area here down below, that can kind of be just that area that we want to focus on, maybe adding to our position if we get there. And short answer is that SUI looks like it's starting to run. Imagine what happens if Bitcoin starts to pull back to like 93, 92K. And it has been a significant ripsaw. The unique thing about Bitcoin is it's consistently establishing higher highs and higher lows in a pretty progressive channel. but it hasn't done its pullback yet. And I think we're due to see the price action pull back to 92, 93K for Bitcoin here in a short while. That happens, SUI is going to have a bad day. It's already having a bad day right now because I'm sure there's a lot of people that went long at about 360, and they probably used high leverage is my guess. Either way, not everyone does that. I have to assume or presume that people that watch my channel aren't those people. And you got to understand, folks, the main reason why liquidation events occur is because people are using too high leverage. I really seriously think if we didn't have such high leverage available in the market, we wouldn't see such volatility. So it's both good and bad, depending on how you look at it. But the trick is to not be another statistic. Don't be that person that's using high leverage, getting liquidated left and right, just so you can post on social media how awesome you are with a 100x leverage trade, and you got like a 10,000% return. You know how stupid that looks when you post that? You're basically showing the world how dumb you are. Okay, just the people that know. The people that don't are going to continue to make those same mistakes. Anyways, conversation for another day. Let's take a look here at Ichimoku Cloud and confirm on the hourly that we are still below the cloud. While we did break above here for a short while, kind of our little time in the sun, the little limelight there, Bitcoin making lower highs, lower lows, SUI essentially not pairing well with Bitcoin, all the more reason not to take it long into this. Now again, I'm probably going to eat my words here. I'm sure by the time you watch this video, the price will be up here because that's how SUI does things. But what should happen and the way that the market's moving, it should continue lower. To give you complete disclosure, we're shorting Solana right now to its lower liquidation range at about 225. So again, I'm a little too timid to short SUI. I don't necessarily recommend it. It's just kind of one of those coins that's super volatile. So you got to respect that. But the truth is we are establishing our ABC pattern here, and it's just a matter of how low it goes. Okay. Based on previous highs and or key fib levels, we can see 350. Once again, 342, and tertiary to that, about 328. So those are just some areas to pay attention to. Either way, I hope you find benefit here and had, obviously, and I do want to say thank you again for just being an amazing part of my life. Once more, deeply appreciate hitting the like button, commenting below. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. I will post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Future reference, it looks a little something like this, and you can check that out in your own time. I appreciate you, though. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.